know, it's so hard being a cat, huh? The more trouble he gets into, the more I hold him. Yeah, I know. Say hi. Say I'm in trouble right now because I was trying to climb through the trash can. He's hitting me with his tail. Okay. Hey guys, it's Maggie, and today I am doing the Bookish facts about me. I did this video a long time ago, like probably 2 years ago, and I don't even know if I still have it up on my channel, but I decided to do a new one regardless, and I'm not really sure how many facts these are going to be. It's kind of just going to be like whatever I sprawl out from the top of my head. So let's get started. The first fact has to do with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I went to the midnight release back in 2007 for this book, and because I grew up with a bunch of cousins, I was one of the little ones at the time, they really liked to mess with me. And so they told me that Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Hagrid all died and that Voldemort won. And being a 10-year-old little gullible human that I was, I completely fell for it. And so I got the book in the mail, I think the day before I went to the midnight release party, and I opened it and read the epilogue first. Why, Maggie, would you do that? I mean, and then I was like, oh, everything's fine, so let me read the rest of the book. It actually wasn't fine. I had no idea about Dobby, Fred, I had no idea about any of that. But still, I was like, I cannot believe I did that. I mean, I was 10, but still. My next fact has to do with the Mortal Instruments series. So I got into this series spring break of 2013, so a little over 3 years ago now. I had just gotten out of seeing the movie The Host, and so my mom was at work, and I asked her to pick up The Host and these books while on her way home, and she did, and I read all 5 books that were out at the time in like that entire spring break week. I just marathoned all 5 books, and then I had to wait like forever for City of Heavenly Fire, which was not fun. So when The Fault in Our Stars came out, I was a freshman in high school and I was introduced to it by my friend who had a signed copy that she kept in her locker for some reason, and I really wanted to read it, and so I think I borrowed her version, or her edition, read it, fell in love with it, and that's how I was introduced to John Green and DMGBA. Next has to do with this little guy. So, actually not really, but I'm just using cats as my example because he's in my room and Annie's behind the camera. So, I used to be obsessed with this Warrior series, that's what it was called. Okay, I'll put you down because he's getting up. These bad boys. I was obsessed with this book series. I don't know where it started from when I was a kid. I think it's because I really loved cats, and I really loved my cats. And so I had this series, and I started reading them, and now on the bottom floor of my bookshelf I have like 20 versions because there's so many books in this series, and it's really good, and I really enjoyed it growing up. Like, it was pretty much like the first books that I read that were like older than my age group besides Harry Potter when I was like in elementary school. Harry Potter was my first big fandom that I really got into. Shortly after that, I was in 6th grade when I got into the Marvel universe. I started off with Iron Man with my best friend. Her dad always took us on adventures and stuff, and so he took us to see Iron Man, and I remember we were sitting there in the theater, and I was like really into this movie. I was like, what? And I didn't think I would like it because like superheroes wasn't really my thing at the time, but I was really into it. And the end of the movie, when Tony's like, I am Iron Man, the credits started rolling, I literally sat there for like 10 minutes in the theater, and my friend was like, are you okay? And I was like, who ends a movie like that? And then that just sparked my obsession with Marvel, and now I have Zoom Zooms, Funko Pops, everything. I've had a Marvel themed birthday cake at some point since I was like 14. Literally, it's not even a joke. Like, I've had Captain America Civil War, and that was my cake this year. I've had Thor, Spider-Man. Actually no, my 14th birthday cake was Harry Potter, so 15 and up is how long I've had Marvel birthday cakes, and I'm gonna have all of them at some point. Harry Potter was the first series that I read as a child growing up, but I got into that series when I was 4 years old, and that's kind of really shocking when I say that, and not many people believe me, but basically what happened was growing up, my parents really wanted me to learn how to read early, and so I was reading by the time I was like 2.5 or 3 because we had a program at home that my mom was working with me on. And so by the time I went to kindergarten, I was ahead, and so I was reading the first Harry Potter book. And one time my teacher saw me reading during reading time, and she sat down with me and she thought that I was just looking for pictures. And so she asked me, you know, what are you reading? And I was like, oh, Harry Potter. And she was like, okay, well, can you tell me what it's about? And I just started going from like the first line. I was just saying everything that happened so far in the book, and she called my mom and she was like, "Are you aware that Maggie's reading Harry Potter?" And my mom was like, "Yup." And that's kind of how my obsession with Harry Potter started, but I wasn't allowed to watch the movies until I was 8 because my mom thought they were too scary, but I was 8 when I saw the first movie, and then the rest is history. I love bookmarks, and so I have this little jar with bookmarks, and so I have this penguin one that I made out of duct tape, and it's actually really cute, but it's really flimsy and it doesn't do much. And then I have this bookmark that has an M for Maggie that I rarely use. I have a bookmark that I made that's a Taylor Swift inspired bookmark, but that's somewhere in a book. My Hufflepuff bookmark that's really lame. I made all these years ago. But then my lovely friend Lindsay over at the Hufflepuffle has a Etsy shop for bookmarks called Caffeinated Bookmarks, and she makes bookmarks based off of YA novels. I'm really excited to say that I'm a rep for her shop for a little bit, and so all of the links to her shop will be down in the description. These are so cute, like they're so cute. I have Lunar Chronicles here, and it says, I'm capable of choosing my battles if that's what it takes to win a war. And then I have one, I have Lady Midnight. It says, when you love someone, they become a part of who you are. I have Fangirl, and it says, Cat, hey Cat. Okay, I think if I portray Simon, that way it works. He would do that. And then I have Percy Let Me Go Never from Mark Mathena. This is the bookmark that made me cry. Oh my god. And then it's One of Our Greatest Human Flaws, Arrogance from Zodiac, which is a book that I just read and I'm really into this series right now. So, Lindsay was so kind to send me these 5 bookmarks, and if you use the code FairyTale15, which will be right here on the screen, FairyTale15 gets you 15% off of your order. Lindsay's one of my best friends on BookTube, and I love her to death, and you can check everything out down in the description. So, this is another story time. He's a little older at this point in elementary school, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. All of my cousins were over for Christmas, and at the time, we were allowed to open one present on Christmas, and my cousins told me to pick this little square box because they were convinced as a GameCube. They were convinced. And I opened it, and to their disappointment and my delight, it was the Chronicles of Narnia set. And I think I have 2 separate sets because I have like some books in this version and some books in this version. So I don't really know exactly, and this isn't even all of them, but I've been finding them around my house lately and like putting them back on my shelves because before I had like set bookshelves, my books were just kept sporadically around the house. So some of these are in storage, some of these are who knows where, and as I'm finding them, I am adding them to my bookshelves. As I've mentioned throughout my channel, I love reading dystopian and sci-fi. My favorite dystopian-ish, sci-fi-ish trilogy is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I love it, and when they announced the movie was being made, I was in line for VidCon. It was like 2 years ago, I think, and I was in line for main stage. And I was reading a book. I wasn't reading Fifth Wave. I was reading, I think, Proxy at the time. And they tweeted it, and I literally was like crying because that was all I want. And I really want them to make the rest of the series because they're so good, and I really liked them. And the movie I thought did really well. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I actually really enjoyed it, so I really wanted to finish it. Next, I've been really into Funko Pops lately. I don't have a lot. I have Merida, I keep next to my Hunger Games trilogy. I have my 11th Doctor, which I keep next to my 2 TARDISes that are below camera on my shelves. My Anna Funko Pop, which I love. She's so cute, and I keep her by my contemporary reads. She's not a Funko Pop, but I have my Rey bobblehead that I got for Christmas, and I love her, and she sits up with my Star Wars stuff, which is on the top of my shelves. And then I have my little Marvel set. I have Hawkeye in his, I think this is his Age of Ultron costume because it's different than Avengers, and he's my favorite, so I love him. And then I just mentioned earlier, I have my Captain America in his first Avenger outfit, and he's so cute. And then I have my other favorite, I have Loki. Basically, I have my big bookshelves here, but I have this also little cube set right here that I haven't even showed on my channel yet because I'm sort of just now still setting it up, but I'm going to show you guys soon, probably in my next bookshelf tour, which I'm going to do before I go back to school in a couple weeks. But I have my Marvel Encyclopedia and another superhero comic book, like in general. And then I have my Captain America in the middle and Clint and Hawkeye on either side, like they're fighting, and it's really cute. And then I have my Captain America Civil War Zoom Zooms, which are just my Iron Man and Captain America, and I have them like this on my shelf because Civil War and I'm a nerd. And then I have a little baby Groot pin.
it's so cute.
And I think that's it for this video. I couldn't really think of any other facts to do about me. I'll probably do a part 2 about this, which are actual more facts, but this was just like a brain dump kind of thing. But thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye!